Here are your starters for the Ateneo Blue Eagles. The usuals: Gutierrez, Salarzon, Batas, Alejos, Pasino, Castro, and De Castro. On the other side of the court for the UE Red Warriors, Rakim, Aseron, Kamaymayan, Perit, Bicar, Piojo, Roca, and Villanueva. Bicar will start things off. Salarzon from the back row. First point for Ateneo.
He is one of the teams here who are really committing a lot of errors in a match. So they need to trim that down.
As Roca will try, but blockers were there.
Foot fault violation there, crossing the center line. Pero yung position ni Batas doon medyo deep.
And Aseron will be a crucial point here. We talked about him on top of the coverage. He will be the offensive leader. As Salarzon will also be that offensive leader for the Blue Eagles today. An opportunity to end strong in the round one as Gutierrez will get that point in. One of the offensive-minded setters here this season.
And you really need to expect also na there are also other spikers in terms of setting for Bicar, especially for the back row.
You mentioned Alfred, if they exclusively go to Aseron.
Gutierrez can really set up the middle well, making those plays means, and expect also that those patong plays coming from them.
Aseron again, blocked. UE will try again. Drop shot. Not good that time. Salarzon will try. And that wipe out will work for Salarzon.
Yeah. Oh. Lifting. Yeah, overturned there. Medyo nalit kasi din yung mga blockers eh. Yung kamay ng blockers. Kaya hindi na nakita.
Hinintay pa niya yung kamay ng mga blockers, but that gives you either fourth point here. Good pass from Batas. Pasino from the back row. Denied that time.
Yeah, well read there coming from Kamaymayan and Piojo.
Salarzon up to serve. Aseron again with that pass. This time, Piojo. Pasino will score.
What a great second ball there for Ateneo. Finding Pasino, the lefty.
More attackers contributing here on the side of Ateneo. Chance ball. Gutierrez to the middle. Aseron was there. Roca will try. Reverse to Pasino. Slowed down by the block. Bicar to the middle. And that's going to be a point for Perit.
Yeah, finally, a middle play here for UE. Ending that.
Ateneo just capitalizing on the errors of UE. Aseron has been the target. Bicar to Roca. Salarzon ups to Pasino. Bicar to the middle. Reverses to Pasino that time. That's gonna be a point for Pasino. Perit. Gutierrez opens to Batas. Ooh.
Off the block, Ken Batas.
All power on that attack for Kennedy Batas.
Despite the ball being too far or medyo
Salarzon dug that time. Gutierrez goes back to Salarzon. Outsmarting the defense there, just going for the push.
But he's a left-handed kaya yun sanay siya eh.
Aseron, cross court, finds the line.
Wow, what an angle there coming from Aseron, no? You can see that, alam na ng mga
Of Rakim Aseron. Gutierrez to the middle, dug that time, Budias was there. Asked for that. Not yet for UE. Salarzon!
Salarzon!
Yeah, no blockers right in front of him. That would
Defense
be
and offense right now, talking about Nabora. Gutierrez reverses to Pasino. All clean attacks coming from the Blue Eagles.
If Gutierrez would be so efficient, continue to be to Aseron na lang eh.
Yep.
Kayang-kayang pumuntos. Pero yung other departments also, they need more from those.
Chance for UE. Nabora tips that over. Pasino. Pasino has been comfortable going cross court.
Found his rhythm now for Pasino. Little by little, no? By the drop ball there.
Dylan.
Yeah, you needs to serve hard here.
Yep. Talking about that. Dylan up to serve. Target Salarzon. Gutierrez goes to Batas. Dug that time. Chance to convert for Ateneo. Salarzon. That's gonna be a point for Ateneo. Nabora blocked.
And that won't be effective for UE here. Especially natin bigyan yung atake yung mga middles natin.
Gutierrez to Pasino. Again on the cross-court angle.
Yeah. Dylan Turalde was out of position there on that time in terms of defense.
Taluban coming off the bench. Dylan to Aseron. Again denied by the block of Ateneo.
There was Alejos again on that block. Know that they can really man and score points in terms of blocking for Ateneo. It's just that perfect timing, that hand placement. Kahit si Aseron man yan o sino man mga atake
But
sila.
Aseron will need all the help he could get, especially in the scoring department. Gutierrez to Salarzon. And he will start things off here in set number 2.
Hindi alam kung anong nangyari doon.
Some clarifications there. But back on the game. Bikal to Rocad. Again, blocking has been solid here on the side of Ateneo.
Yeah, I was saying pre-game, if maganda yung laro ng Ateneo in this match, they can really go for then giving that first win against Adamson in that 5-set battle.
They also have been resilient here. Talking about UE. Crisostomo with a good dig. Up to Zalarson. Soft touch. That's gonna work.
Dapat sabihin nila in terms of receiving or getting that ball na bigay mo na sa mga defenders behind.
Yeah, it's all about adjustment and quick reflexes. And talking about quickness, Aseron. Too quick from the back row.
It's coming from that LaSalle game with 30 big points,
yeah.
no? 4 sets only.
He is extra motivated today, but he needs some help because Ateneo getting points from everyone at this point. That's gonna be the second point of Castro in this match. Gutierrez.
Two-man, who-to-man. Minsan mga ganon, the wings are open. Pag tinalon mo yung middle, pwedeng bigay ni Gutierrez sa back row.
Right.
So freeing up that attack.
This time offset. But they recycle and they give a chance ball to UE. Bikar to the back row. That's gonna be good for Piojo.
That time, Piojo scoring from the back for UE. You can see that.
Piojo. The Castro overpasses, but Ateneo recycles. Bikar again to Aseron. Gutierrez opens up to Batas.
Off the block, Ken Batas.
Ken Batas again. Showcasing his power in terms of attacking, no?
Batas really looking better and better as the season continues. Again, coming off an injury, still recovering, still not 100%. He will try again. Dug that time. Bikar to Piojo. But the blocking really has been formidable for Ateneo.
Again, yes, Alejos here. No, this guy, I've seen him grow into sa training namin. Parang he really wants to try volleyball. As in, wala pa. Pero he's tall, sabi namin pwede. Tapos, yan nga, sabi namin na mag-college na muna siya, ganyan. Experience the volleyball in that collegiate life, like especially UAAP. Dinala na namin dito, dinala sa Ateneo. And now, he's here.
That's it.
Again, they have one win so far. That was a 5-setter win against Adamson. Talking about UE.
Off the block,
And it's a coverage, no? That initial reaction from the floor defenders of UE, especially coming from Rada, dapat cover that area if you're a blocker in front. Si Rada.
Salarzon dug that time. Rada to Piojo. Piojo has been a good help here in the scoring of Aseron.
With that outside tandem, outside hitter tandem here for UE has been
On that
working.
back row defense. Aseron straight to Salarzon. Gutierrez to Batas. Blockers were there, but that's gonna sail out.
You can hear Lance De Castro, no, shouting, cover ako, cover ako. Minsan ganun talaga yung gusto mong marinig. Pero last second, just setting up to Piojo na wala naman talagang blockers. Pero yun nga, that hitting angles was quite low.
Just could not execute that time. Chance for a better attack, and Aseron will score.
What a serve.
Out of system here. Chance ball for UE. Can they capitalize? Piojo dug by Batas. Salarzon will try again.
Salarzon. Smarter play there coming from him, no? Not much of a power hit, but you can see on the replay here.
Rada to Aseron again. Blocked
block points
by Castro.
Again, you can see it's that respect for Aseron na kahit off system na back row, nandun pa rin yung mga blockers.
And look at that. 14 serving 6. Aseron has been the target. Roca blocked. Oh, that's gonna be a floor touch there. That pancake save. Aseron really trying to look for a stable passer, stable setter here because they have been having problems offensively. But we have to commend the net defense of Ateneo, just really forcing UE to commit the errors.
And now another service.
Again, we mentioned one of the more offensive-minded setters, Aseron. Gutierrez opens up to Salarzon. Rada reverses to Bodias. One-hand save from Batas. Pasino goes cross.
So you can see the difference coming from both squads, no? Nakaka-defend rin naman dito. You were saying UE is number 1 in terms of digging.
Rada, too tight that time. Goes to Aseron. Can UE finally get their momentum here?
for UE.
Good pass from Salarzon. Batas on top of the blockers that time.
You can see that wrist action coming from Batas. Yung lipad ng bola, may spin pa rin. Because of that.
Aseron serving.
That's gonna be a point for Atendido. Instant impact coming off the bench.
You can see the players here of Ateneo, they're really huge, they're tall. So Atendido now scoring that, making an impact right away, gaining that confidence and trust from the coaching staff and even from his teammates. So you wanna see this execution of play 3, but yun, in-stock niya pa rin if that area is free for that down the line or cross court, go for it.
Rada to Nabora. Still good. De Castro saves that one. Great effort there. Aseron. He has been the hero here for the Red Warriors.
Yeah, 4 straight points for UP. 4 wins. Saying na kalma lang, kaya pa yan.
Another out of system set there for Salarzon. Finally, scores 1. That's gonna be the 12th point of Salarzon. Already a bounce back game for him again. Coming off.
It's really important for that second ball of a team.
Bora gives a chance ball. Ooh. And Kennedy Batas will score the final point for Ateneo here in set number 2.
Yeah, play. Parang medyo bitin pa nga yung bola because it's that broad jump coming from Kennedy Batas. You can see it.
But for Ateneo, they're up by 2 sets, looking comfortable, but they can't play relax because we know what happens if they play relax as a service error there. Good attack there.
That is inside.
That time, Budias finding that zone 1 hit. Alam natin, he can start his games already as a first 6 for UE. Pero ngayon, nahihirapan siya mahanap ng puntos because of the blockers here of Ateneo.
This time, Aseron will try. Straight to De Castro. Batas, blocked.
Block point, John. Kamay mo yan.
Wow, that time, I think that's a block there for UE.
Best blocker.
9th best blocker here.
Block point, Kim Aseron.
There, another one for UE. Now,
4, serving 2. Better pass this time. Gutierrez denied. Chance ball, UE. Rada to Aseron. Goes down. Still alive here. Another chance for UE. Can they finally get a point? Aseron. Straight to Pasino.
wow. Ito yung hinahanap natin ng UE squad. Really workout standings for the squads. And there's men's volleyball. UE 1-5, Ateneo 2-4. Like I was saying a while ago, they're tied 3 teams who are tied with 2-4. UP, LaSalle, and Ateneo.
Yeah. So that 4th spot is very much open in the last weekend of round 1. Perit straight to Salarzon. That's gonna be an out of system for Ateneo. Aseron on top of the blockers. Ateneo recycles. Rada reverses to Budias. Blocked that time. 2 blockers there with Budias.
Finally, a score, a point now for Ateneo.
You on the court for Kennedy Batas. Middle attack. That's gonna find the line for Kamaymayan.
It's that extension of his hand going down that scraped the net.
The intention is good. It has to be the execution. And talking about execution, what a perfect time for a 1-2 play coming from Rada. Piojo. Good stretch coming from Salarzon. You, off-speed attack. That's gonna be good. First point for you.
Yeah, off-system play there for Ateneo.
Coming from the errors of UE, if they can polish up their game, they could have a bigger lead here. Rada, offset that time, but saved by Budias. Gutierrez reverses, Pasino off-speed. Rada to Aseron. Aseron, all power here.
Alam mo, kailangan ng spark, ng energy coming from your team.
Ateneo here.
Yeah. Definitely in.
Not to mention, UE having the right things in mind. It's all about a cleaner execution for them. Villanueva with a good pass. Budias, slow down. But Perit will take that regalo.
Great court sense there coming from Perit. ball, staring at the ball, always aware
Yeah.
in terms of attacking. Talagang hindi na nila pinapalo ng malakas or straight down towards the court. They're really targeting the
Right.
fingertips of the blockers because you know they're really having a hard time penetrating the wall of Ateneo here. So adjustment is needed talaga. Yun ang ginawa dito ng UE. Kaya nakita mo yung mga palo
At
ni
this point,
especially UE because they're really down 2 sets, no?
right? Piojo.
There you go. They're really going long this time, which is working for them.
Yeah, those deep shots.
Again, I think this is already second stretch for Ateneo.
Salarzon has been the answer here on the good performance of UE. All clean attacks. So
You know, Gian Salarzon from his rookie years, nakita natin yung potential niya as a player, no?
but that's gonna be huge for Peret and the Red Warriors.
Nice.
Fortunate.
Ooh. Yeah, tumama na sa antena doon.
Yeah.
That's really a dead ball. Now, Ateneo pinching it in, tying this ball game, no?
Another deadlock for UE. He has done a good job orchestrating the offense, confusing the net defense of Ateneo. That has been their highlight in the past 2 sets. But UE now down by a point. Piojo. Dug that time by Castro. You will try. But they will get a check ball here. That's
And we know Aseron talagang going long ball in terms of attacking.
Rada reverses to Budias. Single block by you.
And this guy right over here off the bench, making his impact. Talagang making his name.
Okeke now on the court for Ateneo.
Yeah,
2 points away from a sweep. Rada. So Aseron again, but a better execution this time. But this time, UE arguing a double contact.
No. Wow. Wala. Coach Vince again giving time and experience to his players.
Yeah, almost everyone getting their minutes. And that's gonna be a service ace for Brian Castro.
CJ has really a deadly serve.
It has been a spark
There.
plug.
That's one.
Keke stretches. Chance ball. UE. Too short there for Aseron. Chance ball. Again for UE. Can they capitalize? Aseron. That's gonna find the line.
That time Aseron going down the line. Seeing that Pasini was covering that cross court of his, because that's really his aura.
Keke. Perfect pass to the middle. Slowed down by Peret. Aseron again. Blockers were there.
Yeah, he was trying to go for that out of bound play there, no? Talagang pinalo ng malakas. Seeing that angle of his.
Ateneo at match point. Rada ups to Aseron. Straight to the net.
That ball was too far from the net, no? From the hitting angle there. That's really hard for a spiker. That approach na you were expecting for a set that would be close to the net.